there were two things which I think are fairly significant about the jazz scene. One was a story that a lot of people know about the Jazz Centre Society, which flourished in London. And one of their primary aims was to establish a cultural centre for jazz in this country, something we'd never had. And when you think that the Beatles came along in 1963, and this was due to open in 1986, we needed a cultural centre because our art form was getting woofed into the background, obviously by the groups, the whole rock and roll culture that we live in now. And jazz was unfortunate. It was somewhere between an art form and somewhere between a lapsed popular music. It didn't have a place in society. So we needed a jazz centre. But, I won't mention names, but let's just say that in 1986, the £3 million of public funding that had been given for this project mysteriously disappeared. Nobody was ever brought to court. Nobody was sensible enough to ask serious questions or get a lawyer. And consequently, in 1986, in came the receivers and the accountants, and the £3 million plus of funding had gone. So I was actually extremely angry about that, because I'd been a professional musician for the best part of 10 years, and I knew what a cottage industry it is.